All right, you guys, I'm gonna hook up a tamale. This is the way that we used to do it in the shoe program or in ad segs. We didn't get all them fancy ass ingredients that them mainliners got, general population. Back there in the shoe, we got chips, chicharrones, the basic shit. We were lucky even if we got a summer sausage. Unless we had a CO in the pocket or something like that, we didn't have none of that good stuff. So this is the ingredients right here. This is what you're gonna need. Plastic bag, you're gonna need that to make the masa and all that, and to mix everything up and to form your tamales. This is the ingredients. You got your chips for your masa. You got a couple top ramen soups. I would prefer the chili lime soups, but these are the ones that I'm working with. And a lot of the stuff that we get in prison is the hydrogenated beans, the hydrogenated rice and stuff like that. You're gonna get some of my Mexican style rice that's gonna go in this tamales. So this motherfucker's gonna be on hit. Now you're gonna have some honey. You're gonna have a little bit of syrup. We used to get syrup in prison, the little syrup packs and shit. And this right here is another commodity that we didn't get. So this right here is something a little extra, some jalapenos. Again, unless we had a CO that run down to the chow hall and hook us up with some fucking tamales or something like that, we didn't get this stuff right here. We had to improvise. So this is your basic stuff. Again, you got a summer sausage, you got a couple of these beef sticks, and again, in the shoe, we got the plain fucking beef stick. This comes with the extra cheese, so that's some extra good shit right there. You got your syrup, your honey, you got some refried beans, your soups, and again, your chips, your chicharrones, some chili lime, add a little bit of hot and flavor to it. And again, your nacho chips, your cheese. So this is your basic ingredients right here that we're gonna use. Got a plastic bag again to make everything and to mix everything up with. So the first thing we're gonna do is, like I said, my last video, the number one thing is always wash your goddamn mitts. Wash your hands. That's the first order of business. So right here, you guys see all the ingredients. I'm going to take you to the next step. I'm going to wash my hands. When I come back, my hands will be magically washed, and we're going to move on to the second. All right, you guys. So this is the next step right here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut up my meat, do my preparations. So right here, we don't have these in prison. You're lucky, because if I did, I'd cut the camera and I'd run into the day room right now and handle my business. But I'm gonna keep this as real as it can get. So in prison, we didn't have these right here. So this is the luxury of these right here, of this. Right? But if we're gonna keep it 100, this is what we do in prison. We take the top of a can, bend it over so that you don't get cut, and you basically gonna have to do these like one at a time, but it works just as good. But instead of doing that, taking all that damn day, I'm gonna go back to using this since we're out here. So basically gonna cut up all your meat. Get it all cut up in little pieces like this right here. And then I'm gonna put it in a bag and I'm gonna marinate it. And while it's marinating, that's when I'm gonna work on making the masa. Now, shout out to Gunners Collective and Renegade Media. I seen that they had a little cook-off competition going, and that's cool. But Gunner, my boy, that tamale right there that you made, or those two tamales, I would have inhaled them. Seriously, bro. These tamales that I'm making right now, these are the tamales that I used to make on a Sunday for the homies. After we watch football, you know, after you sit there and you drink a gallon of fucking Pruno, you're hungry as a motherfucker, right? So I'd be the one that would make the Pruno every Sunday for the homies. I'd make the wine, and then after that, I would make the tamales or whatever else I was cooking. I got a lot of different recipes that I'm gonna share with you guys. This one right here, the tamales, this is the first one. So anyways, I'm gonna work on cutting this up and dicing it all up, getting all my meat done. And once I get that done, then I'm gonna come back magically, and I'm gonna show you how to marinate it. All right, you guys, so we're gonna kick off step 2. Now, real quick, the summer sausage, you might wanna take the outside peeling off right here. This is not edible. So you can tell I don't have that much experience with summer sausages because we didn't get them in the shoe program. Like I said, this is a commodity right here, but this is how we're doing it. So this is what you're gonna do for step 2. So I got everything cut up, it's all diced up. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw this in a plastic bag, right? Now, here's the other thing that I forgot to tell you guys about earlier. So this is iced tea right here. We do get this in prison. It comes in little small packs, but we're gonna use some iced tea. And don't knock it until you try it. I'm telling you guys right now, this is what you're gonna wanna use. So take about a good spoon and a half of that. You're gonna take some syrup. We do get pancakes. We do get, well, they're supposed to be fucking French toast, but they're like pieces of cardboard. Anyway, put a good little issue of syrup in there. This right here, honey, gotta have some honey. Now later on, I'm gonna put my chicharrones in here. Once this gets nice and marinated, I'm gonna add my chicharrones to it. And the reason I don't add them right now is because if I add them right now, they're gonna be all soggy. They're gonna be all soggy. And I don't want them to be soggy. I want them to have some texture. So I'm gonna mix this up real good. So you wanna mix this up real good, and you gotta just kind of eyeball it. I'm gonna put a little bit more syrup in there. I added just a little bit of water, just a little small, tiny bit of water to it. So we're gonna let that marinate. Gonna let this marinate, and I'm gonna put this in hot water, just set it in hot water, put it in like a bowl or something, put it in hot water. Now, while that's marinating, I'm gonna make my masa. You wanna open up a little bit of your chips right here. Just make a little air hole so when you start crushing your chips, your bag don't pop and blow up on you. Take your time, man. You ain't got to get all crazy. Got a blowout. It's all good. What I'm going to do with these is I'm just going to throw them in the bag when I make my masa. So I'm gonna continue crushing these up. Once I get it all crushed up, put it in the bag, I'll be back. All right, you guys, so I got the chips in a bag. I put those in a bag. Now, I took these right here and I crushed them up the same way. However, I put a small bowl of those aside right there for something later. I'll show you what they're gonna be used for later. The rest are gonna go in with the masa. I put the 2 sopas in a bag. That's gonna have water in it. I'm gonna cook them separately. Now, the chili lime, that's why I use chili lime soup, because I wanna get the flavor from these soups. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a chili lime packet. And I'm gonna put them in here with the marinade. And like I said, this right here is gonna go into hot water as well, so that all the juices and everything can all kind of like gel together. Then you're gonna have some of my secret rice that I made earlier, Mexican style rice. So for the masa, you're gonna kind of play it by ear. You're gonna just put all your chips in a bag and then use some hot water. And you can kind of tell by the texture and the consistency what you want to get. So put a little bit of water in it first, let it kind of soak up so where it starts to get soft. It's probably gonna take these chips, they absorb a lot of water, so that's 1 cup of water. The masa is one of the most important things too, man. That's what's gonna, everything is gonna go inside the masa. So you want it to be just the right consistency. I'm gonna roll my sleeves up in a minute and get up into this. Take my hands, crush it up real good and work it to like a, so it gets to be like a ball. I can flatten it out, put all my ingredients on the inside. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna work on the masa. I'm gonna put this in hot water, put some hot water in my sopas and get them going. This is gonna be part of the inside, it's gonna go inside of the tamale with the rice. I got some frijoles. Like I said, in prison, we get all the hydrogenated shit. You get the hydrogenated rice, the hydrogenated beans. You add water to everything, but we don't gotta do that in this case right here. So when I come back, the masa should be to the right consistency. The sopa should be good to go. And this right here, the marinade should be nice and ready for when I go to put it inside the tamale. And that's gonna go on the outside. You guys will see. I'll be back. All right, you guys, this is what your masa should start to look like right here. So what you wanna do is just kind of get up in there and break up the big pieces and get it to where, see, it has a nice consistency to where you can form it. That's masa. We don't waste nothing. And what was I gonna tell you guys? So something else about what we be lacking over there in prison. That it's a commodity out here. Well, I don't know what it was. It'll come to me, but so now that you kind of got your masa the right consistency, the way that you want it, be easy to shape like this. And you're gonna, basically you're gonna wait for everything else to be done. Now, you guys seen when I made the marinade, I kind of left it real nice and juicy. I'll show it to you guys when it's done cooking. But the reason why I did that is because once I get to a point where I'm gonna get ready to put everything inside the tamale, I'm gonna add the chicharrones to the marinade. And that is gonna make it so that it still has some consistency. It still is crunchy and it's not soggy. You know what I mean? But the iced tea, I know you guys, some of you might frown on the iced tea. That gives it kind of like a sweet and sour taste. Trust me, it's the bomb. Now, you can use iced tea. We've used cherry punch, fruit punch is good. Different kind of Kool-Aids that they give us in prison, you'd be surprised. It actually tastes like a sweet and sour. It has a sweet and sour kind of taste. First, you get the sweetness from the Kool-Aid, and then from the Kool-Aid, like the honey, the syrup, and then you get the spiciness from like the chili lime, the hot Cheetos, and some of the chili Cheetos, the corn chips. And then, you know, like I said, we got a commodity. We got some jalapeno peppers. We're going to top it off with that. So now what I'm going to do is when I come back, the soup should be ready to go. We're going to form the tamale, the outside of it, and then we're going to start putting everything on the inside. And then we're going to put it up and we're going to let it kind of gel together and cook. Now, in prison, we don't have nothing to cook. And we ain't got no microwaves or nothing. You don't need a microwave for this right here. But what we used to do in Pelican Bay, for those of you that been to the Bay, you guys already know the light that was on top of that's over the toilet, over the sink, that was your stove. Everything that you cooked went on top of that light. So you got one of those lights that goes into the wall and it shines down and it shines up. And it kind of is at a slant. So everything would just sit right on top of that light. You get up in the morning, as soon as they give you your breakfast and your lunch, you take your lunch, you open up your sandwich, spread your cheese out, slap it up on the light, throw a towel on top of it, and by the time you got through busting down and taking a shower and everything, your sandwich was ready to go. You had a melt, either a bologna melt or a chicken. Whatever you got. But anyway, when I come back, I'm gonna start putting this tamale together. I'll be back with step 4. All right, you guys, so I'm showing you how I form the outside of the tamale. So this is the masa. You kind of use your bag to make your masa to the square that you want it. It's easy. It's easier when you use the bag. So you can see how it's kind of coming to shape. Like I said, shout out to Gunners Collective, but homeboy, when we used to drink, when we were done drinking, motherfucker used to be hungry as a motherfucker. So those little tamales that you made, man, when I said that they would have been inhaled, man, I ain't bullshitting, bro. Those little things would have been like a appetizer. No doubt they were probably good. I'm not doubting that at all. You know, we're some of the best chefs there is. Those of us that been to the joint, that been in the shoe programs. So that's basically your masa. That's the outside of your tamale right there. So I'm gonna keep this covered up so it stays nice and clean, ready to go. When I come back, I'm gonna start putting the inside in. I'm gonna roll it, show you guys how to keep it all together. I'll be back, step 5. All right, you guys, so now that I got my masa shaped, you know, just a pointer, keep a cup of water handy. If your masa gets too dry while you got the stuff that you're gonna put inside, if it gets too dry, just pour a little bit of water over the top and kind of spread it in, and it'll absorb and kind of go back to the right consistency that you want. Now, this right here is gonna give it some more taste. Plus, it's gonna kind of hold everything together. That's syrup right there. Okay, so now this has been warming. Imagine being in Pelican Bay and that was up on the light right there. So add a little bit of your chicharrones to this at a time and it'll start to, chicharrones will start to they'll shrink up once they start absorbing some of that, the water, the syrup. In fact, that's probably all the chicharrones that we're gonna need for this one. So I'm only cooking for just a couple people, not a whole tier. I'm not gonna need all them chicharrones. Although, I like my tamales, they have a lot of chicharrones in them. They set it off. Once this gets going, let a little bit of this air out. So now these chicharrones here, they're not soft, they're not soggy. They got a little bit of consistency, a little bit of crunch. I mean, for those of you that have teeth, you know, you can appreciate that. If you don't got no teeth, you might not like this many chicharrones. I don't know. So what we're gonna do now is salsa con queso, for those of you that don't know. So let's just start by putting in a little bit of, you ain't gotta be all fancy with this, because this is going right here. You got some for everybody. Everybody gets, every bite gets a little bit. I'm gonna top some more of that off after. A little bit of my famous rice. That's all you're gonna need with that, because now you got your gonna have your meat and stuff. So I don't want to put too much in this tamale. I'm gonna put just a little bit of this, the sopas in there, just to give it a little bit of that prison style taste. So we probably won't even use all this. This is probably too much. This is what I would do is I use a little bit in this one, and then I make another one for the next homie. That's probably good right there. I'm gonna get all that in there. So let's move this out the way. Because now, it'll make this magic happen. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna kind of fold this over like this. Kind of like a burrito, right? You're gonna bring your ends up. Just tighten this bad boy up, don't trip. Bring this side up. Now just imagine, just watch the 49ers beat the Raiders. Just drank all kind of pulque. Been drinking all day with the homies. And now You're hungry as a motherfucker, right? Now you're hungry. You want to eat. So, again, man, I'm sorry, Gunner, but this is a big boy tamale, my boy. This is how it's done. Let's make this look all nice and pretty. Get this out the way. You don't want them big chunks in there. You want it to look nice and pretty like. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this back to my cell so you guys didn't see shit, all right? This is coming back to my cell. I'm gonna hold on to this. You never know when shit's gonna kick off on the yard. This right here, trust me. And that right there is a tamale. Stick a fork in him, cause he's done. This right here, you guys, this is a motherfucking tamale right here. You guys, if you follow those steps, trust me, man. It's well, hold on. Let me just show you guys something so you can appreciate this. So I gotta hold on. I almost forgot, man. I'm tripping. I'm not gonna put these all over because everybody might not like these. I almost forgot one of the main commodities. Come on, man. You can't forget the jalapenos, B. These, you could put them on the inside if all the homies like them, or if you guys like them. Everybody don't like jalapenos, so you might just want to throw them on the top. But check it out. Just to give you guys a look on the inside. Can you see that? That shit's the bomb. All right, you guys, this cooking with B. This is my tamale right here. I'm gonna hit you guys with some wet burritos. I got a whole bunch of shit, man. I know how to make pozole, menudo. I know how to make all kind of shit. So we're gonna go candy wheels. All the recipes I know, I'm gonna take you guys through them. But this is my second one right here. I hope you guys enjoy it. Paradigm Media News, I'm out.